You've all seen ads like the ones we just looked at that promise a whole lot, but sometimes the real story is very different. I know because I've written some ads like that. Writing product information material is what I do for a living, including information for cars and trucks. So I know that sometimes you have to look at that material pretty closely. Like this piece here, for example, which I didn't happen to write, by the way. This is Ford's response to recent advertising for Chevrolet C and K Series light trucks. For the next few minutes, I'd like to go over with you some of the things they have to say and the real story you can explain to your customers if they should bring any of this up during your presentation. Let's begin at the foundation of every good truck, the frame. Ford points out in their book that the F-Series trucks have a true truck frame with parallel rails that are bolted and riveted. They don't tell you that one of the major reasons for that, besides being an old design, is that this construction allows the frame to twist and bend so it can help out a harsh suspension. The new CK Series frame is welded together for stiffness and added strength, with a new boxed front frame design for extra support for the engine and the front suspension where it's really needed. Welding the frame also eliminates any chance of bolts loosening and reduces the potential for rust spots to develop. This new CK frame is, in fact, the strongest light truck frame available in the industry today. And besides, unlike the Ford, the new front suspension on these CK Series trucks doesn't need any help. Light trucks are the best-selling vehicles in the industry today. With so many people using their trucks for so many things, ride has become increasingly important. And ride begins right here with the front suspension. Ford F-Series trucks are still using the twin I-beam front suspension they introduced in 1965, over 23 years ago. And it's still just as stiff and unforgiving today as it was then. In fact, with the twin I-beam, you can truly say the vehicle rides like a truck. The new CK trucks use an advanced AA arm front suspension. In their comparison brochure, Ford says that this suspension is similar to that used in passenger cars, as if there was something wrong with that. Well, you know they're right. It is similar to the design used in passenger cars because that design provides a smooth, well-controlled ride. The difference is that this suspension has been beefed up, made stronger and more rugged for use on a light truck, but it still provides much of the same kind of smooth ride and comfort you find in many passenger cars. That was the idea in the first place. And while we're talking about suspensions, we have to include the longer rear leaf springs that work together with the new front suspension to provide a better overall balance to the truck, particularly when it's loaded. The CK Series uses the latest state-of-the-art suspension technology to provide rugged performance and smooth ride, because that's what your customers have told us they want. Of course, neither rugged frame nor smooth ride mean much if the truck won't perform, and performance comes from under the hood. And here we've got a lot to talk about. The CK uses simple, direct, and effective throttle body fuel injection, or TBI, where the Ford uses the more complex multi-port fuel injection. The TBI system is simpler, easier to maintain, and much less sensitive to fuel quality. And speaking of fuel systems, we should also mention that all CK Series trucks have all metal fuel lines. The Ford F-Series trucks still use plastic fuel lines. And while I've got the hood open, I'd also like to remind you of one of my favorite features that's unique to Chevrolet C and K Series trucks. This portable trouble light that's part of the TR9 auxiliary lighting option, which, by the way, is included in all CK Series saver packs. You can use it under the hood, or back in the box, or even to change a rear tire if you should need to. You know, there's been more than one occasion when I'd wish I'd had something like this. And when you're through, it wraps up and hangs neatly out of the way. Speaking of neatness, here's something else I want to show to you. Look at this snake pit of tubes, wires, and hoses under the hood of the Ford, and compare this to the neatness and order under the hood of the C&K trucks. Now, it's true that neatness doesn't have a lot to do with performance, but it sure can make a difference when you have to work on the engine, even to do something as simple as changing the spark plugs. There is one factor that affects performance, however, that Ford has quite a bit to say about in their material. That's horsepower versus torque. The Chevrolet 4.3-liter engine has 15 more horsepower than the basic Ford i6. Well, they admit that, but then they say here that the Ford engine delivers 30 foot-pounds more torque for more load-moving power. It's true the Ford engine delivers more torque, but let's take a look at that for a minute. When you build a truck engine, you have to make some design decisions about torque and horsepower. Torque is the power you need to get a load moving from a standing start. In some situations, more torque may help you get a fully loaded truck moving just a little easier to begin with, but once it's moving, it's the horsepower that will get it going faster and keep it going, particularly up hills or in rough terrain. And of course, the axle ratio has a lot to do with how you can use both the torque and the horsepower. But for most general applications, where just about all the driving is done with a light truck, I'd rather have the higher horsepower. So to sum up the power comparison, the Chevrolet engine is simpler, cleaner, and delivers more horsepower in the driving situations where people use it the most. And speaking of driving situations, we don't want to forget the transmissions, which have a lot to do with how we drive. We have a 5-speed manual overdrive transmission, which is standard equipment on the 1500 and 2500 series trucks. We also have an optional 4-speed automatic overdrive transmission, which provides additional flexibility for most conditions. When you're off-road or in heavy traffic, you can put the transmission in drive for more power and to reduce the amount of shifting. Then on the open road, you can shift to overdrive for a smoother ride and better economy. Here in Ford's reply material, they say F-Series offers standard manual locking hubs, preferred by many off-roaders. Personally, I don't know too many people who would actually prefer to have to stop their truck, get out, no matter what the weather or how sloppy the conditions, and manually set the hubs to shift to four-wheel drive when they could do it right from the driver's seat without even pausing. Of course, Ford does offer optional automatic locking hubs, but you have to stop and back up to disengage them. For four-wheel drive convenience, you can't beat the Chevy shift-on-the-fly Instatrac, regardless of what Ford likes to think their customers prefer. But no matter what transmission you use, or whether it's horsepower or torque, the purpose is to move a load. And on a pickup truck, the load goes in the box. The CK box uses two-side galvanized steel for all panels, not just the sides like the F-Series. And it's welded together for a smooth, unbroken line, with the frame mounting brackets welded to the bottom of the box, instead of using moisture-trapping bolts through the box to the frame that can provide a place for rust to start, like we see here on the Ford. In their material, Ford makes quite a point about the new tapered box on the C and K series trucks, saying that it won't accommodate slide-in campers or caps without major modifications. Well, they haven't kept up with the market, because just about every manufacturer of camper bodies, caps, and other slide-in accessories has available models that fit the CK tapered box as if they were made for it, which they are. And it's going to be a while before Ford catches up with the convenience of the two-tier loading that's part of the CK design. The CK Series pickup box makes available today the features that all pickup boxes will have in the future. The styling difference, of course, speaks for itself. The CK styling is cleaner, more aerodynamic, with the truly modern look of tomorrow's truck, not yesterday's carryover styling. And the basic design and construction make it tighter and quieter for greater passenger comfort. A major element of comfort, of course, is the seating. The seats in this new Chevrolet truck are the result of the latest development in seat design, made of durable, body-supporting, molded foam for maximum comfort. In response to our new seats, Ford's literature simply states that they have a seat too. That's comforting to know, even if it's not as comfortable to ride on. Ford is still using the same basic seat design they've been using for years, with stiff springs that can get mighty hard, especially during long hours spent behind the wheel. For comfort and ride, the new Chevrolet CK Series trucks set a new standard for the 90s. Overall, in everything we've talked about and in every way you want to look at them, these new trucks from Chevrolet truly reflect the brand character people have come to expect from Chevrolet. They provide upscale features at Chevrolet prices, such as the new suspension system for a better ride and improved seats for greater comfort. They definitely provide the owner with more than is expected in such areas as the long list of standard features, many of which were extra cost options in the past and still are on many of the competitive trucks. The new CK trucks are performance-oriented, with higher horsepower and improved payload capacities, and advanced in engineering over the competition with such innovations as an all-welded box and a common cab and box mounting fixture that assures matched alignment even under the heaviest loads and roughest driving conditions. The dash and styling of these new trucks is evident at first glance, moving them farther ahead in the future than any other light truck on the road. All of this adds up to a vehicle that is fun to own and drive, and that's the best sales tool you have with these new trucks. The drive, the ride, the feel, and the comfort that your prospects, your customers, will experience when you get them behind the wheel for a test drive. Nothing can sell the C and K Series trucks as well as the trucks themselves. But don't take my word for it. Let me show you what some recent buyers had to say about why they bought their new Chevrolet pickups.
We do snow plowing in the wintertime, and we have a cottage up north, so we're constantly taking things back and forth. The truck has been terrific.
We picked it over a Ford, primarily for styling.
One of the main reasons why I bought it was probably the style.
I like the layout of the instrument panel, the convenience of the radio and AC controls.
The ride is excellent. One of the better riding pickups that I've had, or vans.
The way it handles in the curves and under a load is fantastic.
It responds really well for stopping, starting, turning. It handles very, very well. For the expressway, it's very relaxing just to let it pretty much drive itself.
And I really enjoy the drive of the truck. I feel it has a lot of pickup over the Ford. So.
The interior is very comfortable to sit in, to ride in. I like the design of it. The upholstery, I have a bench seat, and it's very comfortable for 3 people to sit in.
The things that the commercials say about it being a totally redesigned truck are absolutely true.
They call it a heavy-duty pulling, I believe it's what it's called. And I did like that feature because I do pull a trailer. I've got the smaller V8 engine in it, and I have no problem at all pulling it. It's a 28-foot trailer.
I think it drives as well as a sports car, as a matter of fact.
It's a tight driving vehicle. The paint job is terrific. I just can't tell you enough good things about that truck.
It makes me think I'm driving in a Mercedes.
There's nothing I can add to what you just heard. In a head-to-head comparison, the new CK trucks are way out ahead of the competition in customer appeal, performance, and value. So get your customers into one for a test drive. Let them experience the difference, and you'll sell a lot of new C and K trucks in the next year.
My name is Oscar, and this is Fred. We are going to talk to you today about C&K Series Light Truck Saver Packs. Now, we know that you have already heard a great deal about Saver Packs and that you already know what an excellent value they represent. However, it never hurts to be reminded of a good thing when you have one. Therefore, I will tell you what they are and why we created them, while Fred here will show you what is in each one. Show them how you will do that, Fred. There. Now you can see the brilliant high-tech method Fred will use to communicate this information, and you will know where to look when it is appropriate to do so. The reason we have Saver Packs is to help you sell more trucks. They do this by letting you offer greater value to your customer. Let me explain what I mean by that. Fred has just put up the content price value formula. As you can see from this, content minus price equals value. According to the basic principles of basic mathematics, we can increase the value by increasing the content or decreasing the price. Saver Packs are a way in which we can increase the value by increasing the content without increasing the price. As I am sure you must all know by now, Saver Packs consist of a combination of individual options which are put together into a single package at a special combination price. As you can see, Fred has put up for you the list of items included in the C4D Saver Pack, which is for the Cheyenne trim. You will note that there are 14 items on this list. This includes such things as the deluxe bumpers, 34-gallon fuel tank, and intermittent windshield wipers. I will not read all of these items to you, as you are perfectly capable of reading them for yourself. And besides, it would take too much time from this presentation. Fred has now shown you underneath the list what the price of these options would be if they were ordered individually. Now he is showing you the price of these same options when ordered as a Saver Pack on a truck with a manual transmission. As you can see, there is a very substantial difference. In case you are thinking Fred has left off some numbers, I can assure you that he has not made an error. The Saver Pack discount on this truck is $893, so you can give your customer a very big increase in value at no increase in price at all. This constitutes an increase in value of $893. Fred wanted to make sure you could see that, although I am afraid that sometimes he lets his enthusiasm run away with him. I believe this will be very clear if we show it to you once again in simple mathematical terms. The content of the options in the Saver Pack are worth $893. However, by ordering them together, there is no increase in the price. To save us all time, Fred has already done this calculation for us, which, as you can now see, results in an increase in the value of $893. I am sure by now you're all way ahead of us in figuring out what a wonderful selling tool this makes the Saver Pack. This is particularly true when you're competing against the basic Ford F-150 six-cylinder standard transmission model. Fred wanted to be sure you also saw the contents of the other Saver Packs, so he has now put up the list for the C4E package with the Scottsdale trim, which includes 14 items. This Saver Pack provides an increase in value of $1,200 on a manual transmission truck and only slightly less on an automatic. The C4F Silverado trim Saver Pack consists of 11 items which provide these vehicles with irresistible sales appeal, which is helped out somewhat by an increase in value of $1,100. Each of the Saver Packs is available on the C&K 1500, 2500, and single rear wheel 3500 series models. And, oh yes, there is one more point that Fred wanted to be sure I did not forget. On trucks that are equipped with the Saver Packs, that information is included right on the sticker on the window where it is very easy to show your prospect when you are discussing and demonstrating the truck. The C&K Series Light Truck Saver Packs allow you to sell a complete truck equipped the way most people buy them anyway at a very competitive price. This makes them an excellent tool to help you reach specific segments of your market. This is particularly true in the vocational markets, where many buyers own several pickup trucks and are especially conscious of price and value. An example of such a market might be the farm, with which Fred and I are quite familiar. Many farm tractors today have air conditioning and stereo radios and all the comforts of home, and the farmers certainly do not want to settle for any less in their trucks. Farmers are also by nature highly value conscious. So with the Saber Packs, you can offer them a much greater value for their investment. Another good example might be a construction company, where the owners and the foremen spend a great deal of time in their trucks, and as businessmen are often more value conscious than most other folks. In fact, just about everyone who drives a truck enjoys getting the most value for their money, such as salvage divers, and delivery men, and ranchers, and fishermen, and even Fred himself drives a pickup. I would be remiss if I did not also mention one more advantage that Saber Packs give you when you are engaged in selling light trucks in a market that you do not have completely to yourself. That relates to the competition. When you are showing a Chevrolet C or K truck to a prospect, and they have the poor taste to bring up a Ford truck in your Chevrolet dealership, you need not fear this indiscretion. Now you know you can offer that prospect a better value than that other brand by using Saber Packs. According to the content price value formula we showed you earlier, which Fred will show you again in case you have forgotten it since the last time we showed it to you. If your prospect should continue to be so insensitive as to suggest that Ford also has put their options together in groups, which they call their preferred equipment package, you need have no fear of such a bargaining ploy by your customer. As Fred is now showing you, the Chevrolet Saber Pack is more than equal to the task of maintaining your competitive edge against these preferred equipment packages. You will note, for instance, that at the Ford custom trim level, comparable to the Cheyenne, the top Ford package only includes 10 options instead of the 14 included in the Chevrolet C4D Saber Pack. The Chevrolet Saber Pack also includes more appearance and dress-up options, which makes the truck look more expensive. This always seems to please a great many folks and makes them feel they are getting more value for their money, which of course they are. The Ford XL package, which compares to the C and K Series Scottsdale trim level, only includes 11 standard options against the 14 of the C4E Scottsdale Saber Pack. When you are comparing the Silverado Saber Pack to the standard options included in the Ford XLT Preferred package, you will note that Ford lists 14 items against the 11 of your Saber Pack. However, you can point out to your customer that 4 of those items, such as headliner insulation and wheel covers, are already included as part of the Chevrolet trim package and not listed separately. If you do not have one already, it would be a good idea for you to stop by a Ford dealership and pick up a copy of their brochure, which shows their preferred equipment packages, and study it for yourself. And while you are there, look at the prices on the window stickers on their F-Series trucks. Then you'll be prepared to answer your customer should the subject come up. Fred did this just recently, which is how he got the brochure he just showed you. While he was there, he also conducted some research on the prices listed on the window stickers. When he compared the results of this investigation with the prices on similar Chevrolet models, the differences proved to be very interesting. For example, a Chevrolet Cheyenne with automatic transmission and the C4D Saber Pack was listed at $212 less than a Ford Custom with their 502A Preferred Equipment package. Admittedly, this was not a very scientific survey, and the prices some dealers charge may be different. But it does show that the Saber Packs can result in an actual price advantage. I am sure by now you can see what a valuable selling tool the Saber Pack is against the competition, and in helping you to offer the very best value possible to your customers. It has been a pleasure for Fred and me to have this opportunity to talk to you about Saber Packs, and I am confident that now you fully understand how the Saber Packs can help you in your sales efforts, you will be able to do a great job of selling C and K Series pickup trucks. Fred asked me to wish all of you the best of luck and good selling, and we thank you for your kind attention.